So we all know we need to make some money in order for us to live a good life, right? We gotta make some money in order for us to live a life of excellence. But did you know that in order for you to make money, I was just listening to this on a book called 100 Ways to Create Wealth, and just confirm this message, right? It's did you know if you want to make money, you gotta first live happily and fulfilled. Like if you are miserable at your job, there's almost no way for you to make wealth happen, right? This is why like Mission Human Excellence is yes, we talk about making money, but the biggest part is make sure you live a good life. Living a good life is the way to generate wealth. Like Jim Rohn said, live a good life. It's something along the lines of if you want to build wealth, live a good life, right? So why am I starting a brand called Mission Human Excellence, and why is this a side hustle brand? Like I'll talk about side hustles on here. The reason why I talk about these things for, for the people who are in tech, for engineers who are, um, not just engineers, but like God-centered people, is because there's a lot of times we leave out the fact that we need to be fulfilled, we need to be happy and joyous in order for us to live a life of excellence. And then we can use that joy, use that, strength of the Lord to make more money at your side hustle. That is the important part. So, Mission Human Excellence, we focus on four areas. There's four areas, four pillars of life that, uh, in order for us to, feel like we are in excellence with all the things that we do, in excellence with, the side hustle, the business that we want to build, uh, we gotta make sure, our spiritual health is taken care of, our physical health is taken care of, our relationship health is taken care of, and then we can go into the business. And then we can go into the business because after everything is taken care of, you have this system. So when you fall, you have the system to pick you back up. So in the book, sorry, it's not in the book. It's in the book too. 100 million dollar leads. Yeah, in that book, in $100 million offers and leads. Right, Alex Ramosi. He talks about there's a cycle of change. There's a cycle of starting a business. Starting a business is change, right? So in the beginning, everybody's happy because you're ignorant, so you're bliss. So you have this thing called in uninformed optimism. So you're not informed of what the hardship is, and all you're looking at is the amount of goodness that's going to come out of that business. That's good. It's good to have. But at a certain point, that uninformed optimism becomes informed pessimism. Now you know how bad it's going to be in order for you to build a business. Now that cycle continues all the way down to valley of despair. This is where everybody quits. This is where everybody's like, yeah, I'll just start something new. Because what? Starting something new, you get uninformed optimism. That was me. That was me for the longest time. I couldn't stay in a business that I started for more than 6 months because it got hard and I just quit. I just quit. There's so many times I had a cool hat business, tried to run some ads, didn't work, I'll quit. And I had a shirt business and I tried to run some ads, tried to do some things, didn't work, didn't really push it, quit. When things are hard, quit. Right? And eventually, like, this is all part of the learning process where this is hard, but let's not quit. Let's not quit. How do you not quit? Because I built a system for me to pull myself out of this valley of despair. Keep pulling myself out of the valley of despair. Here's the thing. It's not like let me build a business and it only goes through one cycle. And the business changes. It's another cycle. right? You're looking forward in the future. You're like, ooh, that's gonna be cool, but you don't know what it takes for you to get to that future, and that's where we go back to, you know, all the cycle again. Anyways, after value of despair, then you become informed, optimistic about the situation, the change, and all that stuff happen because you finally start seeing what the change is supposed to bring, right? For example, the company I'm working at, we got acquired by a larger company, a larger corporation. In the beginning, everybody's all like, "Oh, this is gonna be cool, yeah, right? It's gonna be great. It's gonna be more money for us to invest, for us to grow, and all that stuff." And that's the initial uninformed optimism that lasted about 2 days, and then we realized what it really takes for us to be a big corporation, and then it became informed pessimism. It's too much work. There's too much processes. There's too much this, too much that. Oh, you got to be in this event like all the time now. Oh, I'm getting pulled left and right in different meetings because of the, how corporate wants to do it. Informed pessimism, for real, right? And then there's some people that went through the valley of despair. They quit. There are people that just said, "Well, you're a big company. I'm done. I don't want to be here anymore because you guys are a big corporation now. I'll just focus on something else. I'll just quit and find something else." It's cool. It's cool. You know, they don't see the vision. They don't see anything like that. They don't have the vision, and they don't have the system to come with the rest. That's fine. That's fine. They can do the things that, like quitting. That's cool because change will filter out some people. And then we get to the informed optimism. Right now, we're starting to seeing some fruits. This is like 6 months later. We're starting to see some fruits of, okay, maybe all the things that we're doing is gonna get us to start setting up the system for us to grow. Instead of just for us to grow and keep having growing pains, the system is gonna take that pain away, right? And then we can become success and all that stuff. And if change happen again, we're gonna have, oh cool, we're gonna have uninformed optimism. We don't know what it is, but I'm optimistic about it, positive about it, all that stuff, right? But today I want to talk about the value of despair. How do we get through it? Why Mission Human Excellence is built the way that it's built, and why we're driving, why we're pushing the 4 pillars of life in order for us to just get through business. So there was a time where I thought, in order for me to build a business, I need to know about business. Obviously, that's true in some way, but I have to dive all the way into business. What does that mean? That means I'm not working out. That means I don't have a relationship. I don't have a woman. I don't have a girl hang out with. I don't have any friends. I don't have a spiritual life, right? I thought I could just dive into business and make business work. Are there people that make that work? Yes, there are people that can make that work, but they're far and few in between, and there are special cases. I'm gonna tell you why there's special cases in a bit. A lot of successful people, if you read their stories, if you read their lives, they're obsessed with many, many things. And the fact that they're obsessed on many things, meaning that they have a drive to push them through the different levels of hardships. It also kind of sucks when you're in the lane that's slow and everybody else is zooming past you. It's distracting. Okay, so now it's like, all right, cool. We got through some of the things that I got through some of the struggles as a business owner. Like previously, like I was making a few $100s a month in network marketing, which is a lot better than most people on average. Apparently, network marketing on average, people only recruit like 1.7 or 2 point some people in their whole network marketing career, and I had more than that, so I was above average. But then again, it wasn't like wealthy, right? Cool. So 2020 happened. 2022, when I quit my job, my first corporate job, I started really diving into business full time, making sure all that stuff happens. I was working. I mean, probably 14, 15 hours a day. Sometimes there are days where I get up at 4 in the morning, doesn't get home till 3 the next day, 3 in the morning the next day, right? Um, and partly is because the nature of the business. That's what it looks like. The other part is like I just gotta work. I gotta work. I don't have time for a relationship with God. I don't have time for my spiritual health. I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't got time to do any of that stuff because I gotta make it work. I don't make business work, right? Little did I know, burnout started happening, right? Burnout started happening because, well, I'm not filled with the Spirit. I'm filled with all my flesh. I started going into bad habits, going back into my bad habits. I drank, I smoked, all that stuff. And I started being real lazy, real like, just didn't want to do anything. Like, I was numb. Let me know in any way, how can you be numb and have a good relationship with the woman that you're spending, your life with? Let me know how you can be numb and do that, and I will for sure like talk to you. Because I don't think that's I don't think that's I don't think that's possible. You're not connected with yourself. How can you connect with someone else, right? If you're numb to your own feelings, how can you be compassionate with another person? Now, all of that just to say, I forget about my spiritual health, my physical health, my relationship health, and my business ended up falling apart. And then I listened to a guy by the name of Pastor Jeffrey Osborne. He goes, "You gotta make sure your identity is in order." I'm like, "Oh, what's that even mean? What's that even mean?" Like, my identity is in order. My name is Edward, and I'm good. But he goes, "What do you want Jesus to tell you when you get to heaven?" And that's where it hit me. That's where it hit me. If I don't have my spiritual health, there's no way I know what end of my life will look like, what end of everything will look like. And if I don't take care of the temple of the Holy Spirit, this vehicle, this body that you have is the only one you have, right? It's not like a car where you can, when it starts running down, you can just go buy a new one. Cost you some money, but you get a new one. But this body, you only have one. So how can you take care of it? Best take care of it. Make sure it's well-oiled machine instead of dragging yourself out of bed every morning like it's pain in the behind. You know. And then lastly, like if you don't have good relationships in your life, and I'm not just saying like you and your wife, you and your husband and all that stuff. You don't have a good circle of community. Uh, it's gonna be pretty hard for you to get out of the situations that you're in. It's gonna be pretty difficult uh, to continue to go through the things you go through without a community. So your community is basically, I'm aligning my community to the people who has businesses. They might be working full time, they may not, doesn't matter, but they definitely have a business, right? The business is just for them to, you know, keep going, keep doing things. Uh, I want business people around me because that's where I want to go. I want people who are filled with spirit. That's where I want my life to be. I want people who are fit because I don't want to be a fat person. I want to be fit. So I gotta have people who are fit. I gotta be good at business. So I gotta have people who are good at business around me. That's how it is. And then the business part start falling apart. Falling apart. The business part start falling in place. This Mission Human Excellence brand was built on Philippians 4:8. I didn't just open the book and research and like see what it is that fits the things that I'm building. Like it was one of those things where like, hey, you need to build something based on excellence. I'm like, cool. What is excellence? Let me look into what excellence means. Where excellence was mentioned in the holy book. In the holy book, that's where the Spirit is. The Spirit led me to Philippians 4:8. Partly, this verse tugged my heart because a lot of past situations. Um, for those of you who don't know, there's definitely a period where I was depressed, and if I had seen that verse and have known that verse, really know that verse, Philippians 4:8, and where it says whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is excellent and praiseworthy, think about, meditate on those things. If I had known that, my life would have been so much easier. It would have been so much better. But I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's why this verse and this brand, this excellence, is so close to my heart, because there's I don't want nobody to go through depression, anxiety, and the things that they're going through while building a business, while building their life up. It's not productive. I don't like inefficiencies. I don't like ineffectivity. I like productivity, and I like people to be effective, and I like things to be efficient. Depression and anxiety are not any of those things there. It's extremely unproductive, extremely ineffective, whatever word is, and inefficient. But because of this verse, if everybody has this verse and really live up to this verse, what Paul said, whatever it is that he did in the city, in the place Philippi, exemplified him. Like, that's what he did, right? So where am I going with this? You just gotta know, like, excellence in the things, like, first comes to is the mind, and the mind is the spirit. The mind is filled with the spirit, and you have all the things. But because most of the time we see negative things around us, we have negative people around us, we have negative thoughts, because that's just our flesh, right? Or the enemy try to get to you, and those thoughts, you start meditating on those unconsciously. It's not even conscious, it's unconsciously. It's just, it comes in and it just doesn't leave, right? It's all those thoughts that drives people into depression, anxiety, and all that stuff. So if you can, think about the things that are in Philippians 4:8. Those are the things that really drives somebody's life forward, really, really hit on the things that it hits on, for us to continue to be living a good life. And that's what Mission Human Excellence is like. We got to continue to have the pursuit of excellence. That's what our arate, that's in the verse. Whatever is virtuous, in pursuit of excellence. Think about those things. So in spiritual life, what are some of the things that you got to think about in pursuit of excellence? How can you make that area so good that the spirit starts filling in other areas, right? I was talking to the lead pastor at my church this past weekend, and I'm like, hey, you got through all the things you got through. What are some of the, he's living healthy lives. He has a 40-year-old body, but 60-some-year-old age, but like 40-some-year-old body. And like, how do you do it, right? Before he told me all the things that's natural, he told me all the things that's supernatural. Jesus is the one that heals. Jesus is the one that's the ultimate healer and all that stuff. But how do we get there? We gotta put our mind in Jesus. That's the first part. That's your spiritual health. We gotta focus on Jesus. We gotta meditate on what Jesus teaches us. That's number one thing. Like, if you don't do that, nothing else falls in place. Everything else falls apart. Nothing else falls in place. So meditate on things that are good, excellent, praiseworthy. That's number one. Number two, then we get into physical health, and I'm saying this in order because spiritual health is definitely most important. If everybody else talks about mindset, they're talking about spirit. They're talking about a spirit. If somebody else is talking about mindset, they're talking about a spirit. Because every single thing that has to do with the mind and the heart is inside of the Holy Book, and nothing else outside of the Holy Book can cover anything more. It's just any other things, psychologists and all that stuff. The best psychologists in the world they reference the Bible because the Bible really, literally, just is a book full of already know your psychology. God created it. He ain't gonna change it. There's no point for him to change it. So if you read the Holy Book, if you read the Holy Bible, then you know your mindset, right? Where your heart is. That's what it is. That's your mindset. And then we get into physical health. How do you take care of your body? How do you take care of not just your physical body, like your how fit you are, but what about your mental side of things? What about the emotional side of things? How can you take care of those? That's the second part. So in order for us to alleviate anxiety, we have to move. We have to move. Movement will alleviate anxiety and depression faster than anything else. When I was in, I think, third and fourth year of college, I was in the hole, right? I was just in the hole, especially my fourth year when that's before I knew any of this, right? Things got hard. Everybody wanted to quit and quit school, yada yada. After having a bad breakup, things are just not going my way. Um, I was in the hole, right? I was in the hole of depression. A friend of mine at the time, just straight up, all he said was, "Hey, bro, come to the gym with me. You're gonna feel better." I'm like, what you talking about? How am I gonna feel better from going to the gym? How is my mental state gonna be better just because I go to the gym? Here's the thing: if your mind has the energy to be anxious, then your body probably have some energy to work out. Can we all agree, like, mind, body, everything that we have together is just one entity, right? It's just one part, one entity. So if you have energy in your mind, you can probably use it through your body. And that, using up the extra energy that you have, will calm your mind. And depression, really, like, if you go work out, you feel better afterwards, you conquer something, there's no depression afterwards. So every time I go work out with them, it's like, I feel better. Now every time I get anxious, every time I get a little bit of the sadness coming in, the depressive state coming in, like, I get up, I go for a walk. If I get tired in the afternoon, I get up, go for a walk. Right? It's small things like that. Like, if I'm like, sometimes I'll be real, new baby, not new, but 7-month-old baby, still not sleeping all night, and I get tired like noon, 1, 2 o'clock. I get up, go get some sun, go for a walk, come back, keep going, like never got tired. Right? Movement is so important. And then your mental state, like, what are you consuming? What are you taking in? Are you still listening to, like, all the good old hip hop, the Drake's? I don't know what he puts out anymore. I don't listen to Drake anymore, but I know Drake ain't gonna get you in a good mind state, because Lord knows those lyrics are lustful. Ain't no more Drake for me. Ain't no more Beyonce for me. Ain't no more, like, random shows for me. Right? I'm very selective on what I take in now, because, well, there's a thing in software, garbage in, garbage out. If you take in a set of garbage data through your mind, through your eyes, through your ears, through your nose, even through your mouth, like, if you take in a set of garbage data, your mouth is gonna start spew out some garbage. You're gonna start saying some garbage. So you gotta make sure not only to guard your mouth, but, like, you gotta guard your ears, guard your eyes, guard your nose, guard what you touch, guard everything, right? Because, well, at the end of the day, what you put into your mind is what your mind's gonna have for you to say, for you to do, and all that stuff. So don't be putting garbage in your mind, right? Start putting in the things that are, what again? Philippians 4:8, that are excellent and praiseworthy. Gospel, it's a good thing. There's a lot of speakers who are faith-based, who are Christians, who are talking about God. I just listened to 100 Ways to Create Wealth, and they talk more about God, giving praise, doing the things that they need to do for the kingdom, than actually making money. And how making money is a good thing? Well, making money is a good thing because we can do with the money is a good thing, right? So taking more of those content, and then your emotional health. Are you constantly going out and regulate your emotions? What does that mean? Like, do you ever feel angry and just let yourself be angry, or do you feel angry and have an outlet so you can get rid of the anger, so you can process the anger? Do you have a way to understand your emotions? Like somebody talks to you and somebody bounce back some ideas with you, right? Do you have those things? That's a physical. Those are all physical stuff. They're your physical, mental, emotional. That's your overall health. That's the entire overall health that you have to have in order for you to be excellent. And then after you get your relationship with yourself, to a certain point, to your physical self, your uh, emotional, mental, and physical health to a great point, then you start looking into relationships. Why is it that you look into relationships after you get everything all settled? I'm not saying like you have to do it all in order, but you got to look at these in order. Obviously, you're not gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna start making. You're not gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna have friends if I don't take care of myself. Or I don't do things. No, that's not what I meant. If you don't look at your physical health and all that stuff in before your relationship health, you're gonna have relationships that feeds into your bad habits that may be too negative for you that you don't notice. But then once you start noticing how you feel emotionally and mentally, what you're taking in, you can start filtering out some relationships. There's some relationships that you're like, you love the guy, but you're like, all right, I love the guy, but I don't like what he talks about half the time. I love the guy, but he keeps talking about other women when he's got a wife. Like, I don't need that in my life. So I'm gonna tell him what's up, because now you have the spirit, you have the physical, and continue to go through do the different things that you need to do to keep the relationship going. That's difficult. That could be difficult, right? So now, building a relationship, the first thing is, if you got a spouse, build your relationship with your husband and wife. That's the most important relationship that God has ordained us, and continue to, bless us through that relationship. There's a lot of blessings in having a good relationship with your spouse, your husband and your wife. When you become one, you really are one. There's no, hey, this is my money, your money, this is our money. There's no, this is my friend, your friend, this is our friend. There's no, let me go do this. It's, hey, I'm gonna go do this. How can we make this work? How can we make this work? No, there's no I in this relationship. It's us, right? But number one, take care of that relationship. Number two is building a community. Like I said earlier, if you don't got a community that is aligned with where you're gonna go, you're gonna stay exactly where you are. I got some people who are married, and their only marriage goal is to stay with a person for the rest of their life. Great, I'm gonna be with you. I got some people who are in business that are great in business, that's willing to help other people in business. Great, I'm gonna be with you. I got some people who are just straight up like fit and tell me, exactly what, tells me when I'm out of my, you know, not doing the things I need to do. Great, I'm gonna be with you. Some people call me out. Great, I'm gonna be with you. Some people that are just like straight up loving on me all the time, and like every time we get together, we have a good time. I'm gonna be with you. None of the people ever feed into any of my negative habits, negative thoughts, negative things. So I'm gonna be with those people, right? I mean, yes, I still talk to people who I go on and drink with and used to smoke with. I still talk to some of them, but they know that they know not to hit me up anymore for those things, right? Because it's not me, and I don't do those things anymore. So after we get all that settled, we can finally get into business. Business is like, if you have a car, business is like the fuel that keeps everything going, right? The fuel, it's important, You need it, but if you're building a car, you're not gonna put fuel in first. If you're building a car, you're not gonna, you know, you're gonna make sure you have a fuel tank, but that tank is not gonna be filled first before you build the car. Fuel is also only the other thing that someone else can just bring some for you. Somebody can just bring some gas for you, and your car will run. But if the body's messed up, if the engine's messed up, if all that stuff's messed up, doesn't matter how much fuel other people bring you, your stuff ain't gonna run right. If you got wheels that's pointing towards each other, you're gonna probably have some trouble driving that car. You know what I mean? So in that sense, fuel is important, but it's not the necessary essential to building the car. But business still needs to be built, money still needs to be made, because that's not only how this world works currently, but that's how God intended for us to build this world. We can see it all throughout the Bible. It's like the different times, the trades happening, the generosity happening, the serving happening. There's usually a exchange of value, right? That's how God intended us to run this world, to do business, is to exchange value. So what value do you bring to the world? That's the number one thing. What value do you bring to the world? I bring a lot of failures to the world, so you can learn from my failures to never do the things again. I'm learning as I go, so as I learn, I'm gonna teach, and as I teach, I can bring more value to the world. That's just for me. Mission Human Excellence is the sole purpose is for me to bring value to you. The sole purpose is for me to take this long drive, talk to the mic, looking like crazy. There's probably like 7-8 people that on this drive just looking at me like I'm stupid or something, like talking to myself, right? But if I'm bringing value to the world, there's 200 people thinking crazy, 2,000 people, 2 million people thinking crazy, I'll still do it. And then it's like, after bringing value to the world, how can you provide value to the specific person that will be willing to exchange value with you? Now, it's a lot easier to exchange value now because we value money, and that's the way we measure value, right? So if you value yourself, you're gonna value yourself. You're gonna charge more. If you value the community, you're gonna charge for the community. And if really you don't need hundreds of thousands of people to buy your stuff. You don't even need thousands of people to buy your stuff. If you got a group, a community, like I'm starting a community. If I start a community at $50 a month, bringing people into my world, right? Keep providing them the good value that I'm providing, because I'm sure people can spare $50 a month, get on a webinar a week, coaching session a week, consulting session a week, and be like, hey, I need to get better in this area, and I got the stuff to make sure that they can get better. If I can keep providing that value, the solution to their problems, the value that they're looking for, bruh, like $50 a month is not that much. I know people who are broke, panhandling. Nah, I wouldn't say that, but I wouldn't go that far. But people on the street selling flowers, they can make $50 a day. You can spare $50 to invest in yourself. People can invest $50 into themselves simply because, well, if you're providing value, then they're gonna pay you for it, right? So then that's the last part. The business is the last part. Once you have all the other stuff figured out, you can share your story in all the different areas. By sharing your story, you're providing value to the world. Or you can sell a product or a good or service to other people. Currently, I'm in the role of project estimating, but I did a lot of project managing. So if you need me to manage your projects, I can potentially charge for that, right? That's a skill set that I have. I can potentially charge. I know how to make good food. I can potentially charge for that. Or follow what God has for you. build this thing called Mission Human X, and I can charge for that. Honestly, whatever God has for you in this world, whatever your gift is in this whole wide world, whatever your gift is, follow your gift, and things are gonna happen. Like business is gonna happen because you have value to provide to other people. Obviously, I'm still thinking about other things, other businesses that I can start. Um, because there's always a better way to there's always a way to make more money. There's always a way to have better stuff. So not even tripping. It's gonna be good. But I gotta trust God first of all, right? That's where the spiritual health is. Trust God, have faith. The mindset stuff, that's all spiritual. And then we gotta make sure we take care of the physical stuff, our mental, emotional, and physical health. Um, I haven't gone to the gym in a while. Yesterday was the first time I've been to the gym, and I felt so great. I don't know why I gave it in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, so you gotta take care of that, and then you gotta take care of relationships. The one with your wife is most important. The one with the community is after. Well, after family and your kids and all that stuff, then it's community, right? And then after all of that, you live a happy and fulfilled life. You are living a happy and fulfilled life, and you can utilize that to build your business because people like to do business with people who are happy, who's gonna give them light of the world, not give them more depression. So hopefully all this ramble makes sense to you, and I hope that everything that's talked about here it's been valuable to you. So if it is, give me a comment, give me a like. I would love to hear some feedback and see what you think. I'm at work now, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.